If I asked you what the biggest living thing on Earth was, there is a high probability that you'd get it wrong. Want to bet?
Yes!
When the unexpected, like what you are about to watch, is unveiled, the excitement, awe, and mystery go through the roof. Are you ready?
Bring it on.
Meet the most unlikely record you didn't know existed. The honey fungus, the most humongous fungus on Earth.
This organism in the world is actually a delicious mushroom.
The discovery of this organism has been gradual and increasingly exciting for scientists. This humongous fungus, the honey fungus, also known by its scientific name, Armillaria ostoi, was the last and largest to be discovered, following other giant fungi discoveries. The initial announcement of a discovery of a giant fungus was made in 1992. It was a fungus found in the Armillaria genus still, also known as honey mushrooms. Scientists called this honey mushroom Armillaria bulbosa, and it later came to be called Armillaria gallica. It could cover 37 acres, 15 hectares, and was about 1,500 years old.
Wow.
It was and still is celebrated in an uncommon festivity called the Fungus Fest down in Crystal Falls in Mich. This fungus was found by a group of botany students pursuing a PhD at the University of Toronto. This was kind of a side project. One of the students mentioned, a biology professor at the University of Wisconsin, Tom Volk, had this to say about it. Well, it's certainly the biggest publicity that mycology is going to get, maybe ever. If only he knew it was yet to come after that. A further discovery would be made as time went on. About the same year, two men also discovered an even bigger fungus of the same family. This fungus was a particular specimen of the Armillaria ostoi and covered some 1,500 acres, 600 hectares. This was a whooping upgrade from the earlier discovery. These two men were Terry Shaw from the U.S. Forest Service and Ken Russell from the Washington State Department of Natural Resources. This discovery turned heads in the scientific world, but that was not to be the end of it. In 2003, the current largest fungus, the Armillaria ostoi, was discovered. This discovery was made by Catherine Parks, a scientist at the Pacific Northwest Research Station in La Grande, Oregon, and some of her colleagues.
Well, the Clone D covers just under 2,400 acres, which is about 3.7 square miles.
This giant organism was located in Oregon and covered about 2,384 acres, 965 hectares. If you don't know how big that is, let us help you.
Sure.
That is the equivalent size of over an approximately 1,500 soccer fields.
Unbelievable.
Please subscribe to our channel for exclusive access to unique and exciting content like this. The world came after this revelation. The Armillaria ostoi eventually found itself in the Guinness World Records as the largest organism on Earth.
Wait, what?
Are we saying that a fungus is bigger than the 110-foot blue whale and an elephant? And are we also saying it is in the same ranks as the Great Barrier Reef, the largest living structure with a series of 2,100 interconnected reefs? That is exactly what we are saying.
All right.
How exactly does that work out? Did you bring your biology book? Because we are about to go to class.
Are you kidding me?
This record holder of an organism is not necessarily one big fungus. However, they can collectively weigh anywhere between 7,500 and 35,000 U.S. tons, 6,800 to 31,750 tons, and grow down to about 1 meter, 3 feet deep into the soil. Oh, and did we mention that it is at least 2,400 years old?
Wow.
And can possibly date back to about 8,650 years old. And guess what? That would also place it among some of the oldest living organisms on the Earth. Talk of sweeping all the awards. Before we end this video, we will tell you about one more record it holds, which is a little on the dark side.
Oh, this is getting interesting.
Now back to why it is the largest organism on Earth. The Armillaria ostoi gets its record-breaking size from its ability to fuse into a single organism. A soil scientist from the Mississippi State University, Jesse Morrison, explains it this way: when mycelia from different individual honey fungus bodies meet, either in or on the soil surface, they can attempt to fuse to each other. When the mycelia successfully fuse to each other, they link very large fungal bodies together. This in turn changes extensive networks of fungal clones into a single individual. You can easily become confused about why this organism beats the blue whale to become the largest organism on Earth when you look at it emerging on the soil surface. And that is because real magic happens underground. This honey mushroom is connected below the soil surface by a network of roots called a mycelium. And with this network, it comes together as a single enormous organism. When Catherine Parkes found this organism, she conducted a test that helped explain why this network could come together and create such a large organism. She collected samples of 112 trees feasted on by fungi and ran a DNA sample test. She discovered that 61 of these trees had been attacked by the same fungi over a large land area. The fungi's ability to have connected and spread over such a large area mass meant they had an identical genetic match, and thus was the largest fungus to exist. The armillaria ostoi has been able to leave this long and expand so largely mainly because of an abundance of its meals, the conifer tree, the ability to adapt to climatic change, and the ability to find a new host if its original one dies out. The last two factors we mentioned form one important characteristic of this honey fungus called high environment plasticity.
Don't get too infatuated with these cuties though. This fungus is a parasitic tree killer that can wipe out forests.
While this is a great surviving mechanism for this humongous fungus, it also gives it villain tendencies, especially for stakeholders of threatened ecosystems. Its large network and love for killing trees make it a formidable and parasitic opponent for the timber industry and its economic upscale.
It's bad for business.
In fact, as part of its record as the largest and oldest living organism, it once became very popular in the 20th century as the serial killer of fir trees in the Pacific Northwest. Do let us know if this organism fascinates you, scares you, or just simply tickles you. Share your thoughts with us in the comments section.